How the heck are you guys? My name is Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. Let's get right into it. There is no time to waste, no time for clickbait. We have got actionable news that has arrived in the game for our fantastic Luneria shard summoning event. So what am I talking about? Well, you can see if we go over to the event calendar, while we did have two events that we already knew about, the Quarter of Glory and the Brave Conquest, we now know, I should say, that we have the Tales of the Smith event arriving in-game on Sunday. These are the events you really need to plan for, so that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a very quick guide and kind of info session on exactly how much gold you need, how many pieces you need ready to be leveled, how you can tackle this and start preparing now on Wednesday so you really knock it out of the park on Sunday. All right, so without further ado, let's just see what goes into a Tales of the Smith event. You're going to enhance gear to earn points, so a gear enhancement event that can be accumulated for great rewards. These great rewards, the grand prizes we can see, there are gonna be some diamonds, maybe some rare summoning crystals, but most importantly, Luneria shards. And I'm confident in us already knowing we have a good sense of how many points we're gonna need and what the event is gonna look like. So if we actually go to events now, you can see we do have a live, normal, non-shard summoning event related Tales of the Smith event that is going to end in just under 1 day. And you can see the grand prize is 3,000 points. This was the exact same case for every Tales of the Smith event so far, including the ones during the Isolda shard summoning event. And the final reward was those Isolda shards. So we know almost certainly for the Luneria version, we will need 3,000 points. So what is gonna go into that? Under the assumption, which I think is a strong assumption that we need the 3,000 points, well, if you know me, you know I love an infographic. So without further ado, it's infographic time, baby. So I'm gonna go really quick through this. The math will indeed be mathing, but it's fairly simple, but I'm just gonna walk you through it and make sure we quickly hit the key points that you wanna know that bring us to the main conclusion of how many pieces do you need to level, whether you're doing Mythic, what does that look like, whether you're doing Legendary, what does that look like, and then the most important thing, how much gold do you need to save? And of course, if you want this infographic, you can come to my Discord, the Fast and the Fastidious, and then message me or message one of the moderators, and I'll provide you with an HD version. I really like making these infographics, so please let me know in the comments if you like it. Enough of me talking, let's get right on in. So you can see I've divided the left and the right side into the Mythic gear calculations and the Legendary gear calculations. So let's get right into it. Upgrade intervals. So you get points in the event for every interval of 4 that you upgrade, the same way you unlock new secondary stats, right, when you're rolling your gear. So from 0 to 4 for Mythic gear, you're getting 3 points, then 4 to 8 is 10 points, 8 to 12, 65 points, 12 to 16, we're talking 340 points. That means if you bring a piece from 0 to 16, and that's kind of the case we'll be using here, you'll get a grand total of points earned of 418 points. Similarly for Legendary gear, and immediately worth mentioning, 12 to 16 does not exist. You can only bring your Legendary gear up to plus 12. So 0 to 4 is 2 points, 4 to 8 is 5 points, 8 to 12 is 40 points. So many less points, almost 1/10 the amount of points. We're getting a total points earned of 47, but as you see here, the costs are very different. So the approximate gold cost per upgraded piece, we have that for Mythic and we have that for Legendary. And to explain where I got these numbers, I've been taking down stats whenever I'm upgrading gear to try to get, I know it's a bit anecdotal, but try to get some amount of data collected on what kind of estimates we can use to calculate this stuff. The assumptions, of course, are going to go into things like this, but I just want to give you as much information as possible. So I've included like 2 base cases. We have an optimistic estimate and a conservative estimate. The optimistic estimate is it rolls pretty quickly and for cheap, quote unquote, and conservative is a close to a worst case maximum scenario of how much gold you might need to use. And what worked out really interesting here is you can probably already see the Mythic gear is more expensive by basically almost exactly a factor of 10, so something that caught my eye. But so for the optimistic estimate for Mythic gear, I'm saying it's 700,000 gold. For the conservative estimate, which is the main thing I think we should focus on, it's gonna be 1 million gold. Similarly, for Legendary gear, we have 70,000 gold for the optimistic estimate, and for the conservative estimate, we have 100,000 gold. Finally, you'll see in the middle here, before we get to our grand results, I'm again reiterating the expected event points needed for max shards, so that final reward, the last Luneria shards we'll get from the event, I'm assuming it is 3,000 points. So without further ado, the cost in gold to finish the event with Mythic upgrades of pieces from 0 to 16, so you're max upgrading X amount of Mythic pieces, well, that is going to look like 3,000 points, we get 418 points as we saw above that we earn per piece of gear. Number of upgrade pieces then, some quick division, we get 3,000 over 418, so it's gonna be just over 7 pieces. I know my head is probably in the way right now, so I'll move, let's not move that, let's move my head. I'll just move myself up here, why not? So you can see, then we can get our optimistic cost estimate by simply multiplying that number 7.18 by our optimistic gold price of 700,000. We are left with just over 5 million gold at 5.026 million gold. And then I think more importantly, we have the conservative estimate because you kind of want to plan for a closer to worst case scenario and what's the maximum you will need. So if you're using mythic pieces 0 to 16, that is going to look like 7.18 times 1 million. That's some easy math. So it's 7.18 million gold. So quite frankly, that's what I suggest you have saved. At least 7 million gold, maybe even a bit more. If you want to be really safe, 8 million wouldn't hurt. Then guys, you might not have mythic gear yet, or you might not be able to do 7 pieces of mythic gear, so it might be a mix and match. However, I'm going to show you the totally opposite case now if you were only doing legendary gear. So again, expected event points needed. That is hard for me to say. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Expected event points needed is going to be 3,000 points. Here, points earned per piece of gear is only 47. So of course, we're going to have to upgrade a lot more pieces of gear. So number of upgraded pieces needed comes out to 3,000 or 47, just under 64 pieces. So you could call it 64. We'll use the exact numbers though. Of course, you can't have a fraction of a piece, but I just want to be specific on the gold savings. So the optimistic cost estimate, we're going to have 63.83 times 70,000, and we are looking at just under 4.5 million gold. It is going to be 4.4681 million gold. And finally, the more appropriate conservative cost estimate, that is going to be like more like the worst case scenario where it's 100,000 gold per 0 to 12 legendary piece. So we're going to have 63.83 again, now times 100,000. Again, some pretty easy math, 6.383 million gold. So there you have it, folks. That's what I've got for you today. So let's get on out of this. Let's turn off this infographic. Oh my God, you're hurting me here. And I'll put myself right in the middle. What do we say about that? So in conclusion, what have we learned? Well, you can ask for this infographic and you can get all the information, but the bullet points, conservatively, if you're going to upgrade just mythic gear, you need just about 7 million, maybe a bit more to confidently complete this event. And if you're going to do legendary gear, you need a bit more than 6 million. So what are my takeaways? If you're going to do it with all mythic gear, I would have 8 million gold, or at least 7.5 million. If you're going to do it with all legendary gear, I would have 7 million gold, or at least 6.5 million. If it's going to be a mix, I think 7 million gold is the sweet spot. That is what I will be doing. You can already see when we move my big fat head out of the way and we go into the game, I've already started my gold farming, so we're just over 1 million. So guys, time it out, have some stamina saved. As you can see, we've got some pots. I have activated my gold bonus, and just get your farming done. You know, if you want to finish the event we have now, that's fine, but I'd say going in, try to start saving up now so you're not stressed out next week, and let's really tackle this shard summing event. Let's get the beautiful Luneria. How about we finish on a picture of her? And of course, this applies to all future events until the points totals change. So I really hope this helps you. Please let me know if it did in the comments. I've been Fastidious. If you liked it, like, share, and I don't know, hang out, maybe even subscribe. All right, I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.